All right, today we're going to dive into what might be Google's most advanced AI model yet, Gemini 3.0. We're going to break down its core features and look at all the incredible new ways it lets us build, automate, and create. But first, let's start with a really big question. What if you could build an entire app, or automate a super complex workflow, or solve a really tough problem just by describing what you want? I mean, really, just using your words. That's the incredible promise behind a tool like Gemini 3.0. So what is Gemini 3.0, really? Well, at its heart, it's designed to be a completely new kind of reasoning powerhouse. See, Gemini 3.0 is truly multimodal, and that's a fancy way of saying it doesn't just understand text. It gets text, code, images, and even audio, all inside one single unified system. This is what lets it do something pretty special. It can actually plan out multi-step tasks, execute on them, and then check its own work to make sure it got it right, all from a simple prompt. And you've got options, which is great. The two main versions you need to know are Pro and Flash. Think of Gemini 3.0 Pro as your heavy hitter, the one you use for maximum power when you're tackling really complex development. On the other hand, you've got Gemini 3.0 Flash, and just like the name says, it's built for pure speed and responsiveness. It's perfect for when you need quick results or you're running a ton of tasks. Okay, now let's get into the first major capability. And this is a big one, agentic workflows. This is where you can start to use Gemini to automate, well, almost anything. So what exactly is an agentic workflow? You're basically telling Gemini to act like an autonomous agent. You're giving it a goal, like build me this app or automate this entire business process, and it figures out all the steps to get there, from start to finish, with very little input from you. So here's what that actually looks like. Let's say you need to build a data dashboard. You could just prompt Gemini to 1. Analyze the data set, then 2. Generate the user interface for it, and finally 3. Create all the technical documentation. It connects or chains all these totally separate tasks into one single seamless workflow. It's amazing. So how do you unlock this kind of power? Well, the key is structured prompting. You have to learn to think like a systems designer. And that means instead of just barking a command, you give it the bigger picture. You provide the context, the constraints, and what you want the final result to be. You're basically handing the AI a clear, logical blueprint for the entire system you want it to build. Okay, let's shift gears from pure automation over to creativity. The next superpower we're going to explore is something called vibe coding. And this is all about design and user experience. This is so cool. Instead of describing technical specs, you can literally just describe a feeling or an aesthetic. You could prompt it with a phrase just like this: a minimalist productivity dashboard with calming tones. And Gemini will generate the UI, the logic, and even the little animations to match that exact vibe. You know, this is the perfect way to think about it. Using vibe coding honestly feels like you're pair programming with a super talented, design-savvy engineer who just happens to be available 24/7 to bring your creative ideas to life in an instant. Okay, so we've automated workflows with agents, we've created designs with vibes, but what about solving the really difficult problems? For that, we turn to the final core feature, Deep Think mode. Deep Think is built for complexity. When you give it a hard problem, it doesn't just spit out the first answer it finds. No, it's smarter than that. First, it breaks the problem down into smaller, manageable parts. Then, it actually explores multiple potential solutions, multiple paths forward. And, this is the crucial part, it self-corrects along the way to give you the most reasoned and accurate output possible. And look, this isn't just some theory, it's happening right now. Developers are already using these features to build amazing educational tools and generate complex simulations. And on the business side, enterprises are using it to automate their internal workflows and perform really sophisticated analysis on all kinds of different data. So I think the big takeaway here is that Gemini 3.0 isn't just some abstractly powerful tool for researchers. It's a truly practical engine for creation and for problem solving that any of us can start using right now. So let's just recap the new toolkit you've just explored. You can now build a whole lot smarter with agentic workflows. You can automate way faster by chaining tasks together, and you can tackle those really tough challenges by thinking deeper with Deep Think mode. Mastering these skills really is about embracing the future of how we create things with AI. And that leaves us with just one final, very important question. You've seen the tool, now what will you build?